Hey friends, you got Renee Rivera here at Mold Mending. So today, thought I would share with you one of the protocols that I had to go through at the very beginning of my detoxing, led by my doctor, my integrative specialist. One of the things that she had me begin in my detoxing journey was a thing called CSM, or also known as cholestyramine. It's CHOLEST. That's the cholest part. YRAMINE. So cholestyramine. It is a detoxing binder. And before I began this one binder, I actually had to do a precursor to this detox binder to mold, because that's what's dealing with within my body, not just in my environment, but I actually ended up having it within my body. So prior to starting the treatment of the cholestyramine, she had me begin on different natural antifungals and also glutamine. There's other things that I did get started with, but it is suggested you do the precursor to begin the intestinal healing so that your body can handle the detoxing of the cholestyramine. So I actually brought my original bucket. Mine came, yes, this is a big bucket. It's the size of my face. So for those of you that are on podcast hearing this, I'd probably say it's about 10 inches high by 8 or 9 inches wide, this bucket. And cholestyramine is not something you just buy over the shelf or across over the counter. This is a prescribed medication that a doctor does have to prescribe to you. Okay. So I actually brought all the tools here to show you one of the tips to it. So first, there's 3 different kinds of ways that you can get the cholestyramine. I'm going to read it to you so you get more of the details. First, there's the regular cholestyramine, and the regular version of this will have additives to it. It contains 3.5 grams of sugar per dose, as well as other additives. The light version of cholestyramine contains the artificial sweetener aspartame in place of the sugar, and some people have a sensitivity still to the aspartame, where maybe they were also allergic to that sugar. And then the last form of this is pure resin, or what do they call it? Compounded pure. And that is the version I had to go with, because I can neither handle sugar nor can I handle any kind of sugar substitutes or sweeteners. So I had to go for the pure resin, which is the best available with no additives. It's also significantly more expensive, typically not covered by insurance because it has to be compounded by a pharmacy. Compounded means, that's a great question. What does compounded mean? Compounded means that it has to be created as a pure product and no fillers can be added to it. And when I say fillers, it means nothing to make it taste better, nothing to make it go down better. It's the pure form of that medication or of that supplement. So I had the dispensing laboratory send it to me, huge, in a big box. And then you get this big bucket, you open it up, and it's full of this white powder. And I followed the directions, and between my doctor and I, we decided, like everything else, I have to ramp up the dosage and not actually start with the full prescription dosage that it stated. So I do not remember what the full dosage was, but I do recall it being something like, if I were to take one of these other forms of it, it would have been like 12 capsules of it. So to begin the ramping up, I would have tried maybe 2 to 3 capsules once a day. Then I'd try it the next, like 2 days later, I would then maybe up it to 1 more capsule. So it took me actually over a month to get to the full dosage of what was prescribed for my specific situation. So what does cholestyramine do? Let me get back to that before I give you this wonderful tip that I'm excited of. Why am I even telling you about cholestyramine? Because I've got a tip I want to share with you that could help it go down easier for you and help you tolerate it, because it is tough to get down. So cholestyramine binds a bile in the gastrointestinal tract to prevent its absorption. Basically what it is it's a detoxing binder that's going to go through, through your mouth, down your throat, through your intestines, and it's going to attract toxins to it, kind of like a magnet is how I pictured it, like it being this powder that's going down through your body. It's attracting all the toxins and attaching it to it, and then your body's supposed to flush it out. It's an insoluble product. So cholestyramine or CSM is not supposed to disintegrate into your body, but it needs to be sent out. So here is the tip I just wanted to share with you actually I have two tips for the cholestyramine. The first one is, because it comes in a powder form, when we receive, if it's the compounded that you received, or say it was the packets that you rip open, you're supposed to pour it into a cup. What I found worked for me is what I want to share with you. And that was to actually pack it into capsules. You know how we get supplements that come to us not as a powder, but it's inside of a capsule, a little cap. Well, I decided to order. First, I ordered one, but it ended up being very tiny. And so I ended up going for the next size up, and I found them on Amazon. You can find them at your compounding pharmacy. I did buy some large ones there. And I also noticed that you could get them on Amazon. So I ended up buying the even bigger ones off of Amazon. Anyway, so what you're doing is you're getting these empty. And I did go with the bovine gelatin because it's a pure form. There's no additives in it. It's something that I knew I could tolerate. So you'll get this gelatin capsule. It's already put together. You would pull it apart. There's a top and a bottom, and the bottom is probably 3/4 the size of the capsule, and then the top is like 1/4 of it. So you've got those ordered, and then of course you've got your cholestyramine already came in the mail, or you picked it up at your compounding pharmacy. Wax paper. That's what you hear, this crinkling. And you're going to, and I also have a cookie sheet here on my table. What are the other things? Oh, in the cholestyramine kit actually came this measuring scoop. I found it only worked for me when I was dumping it into my drink and trying to drink it. But I'm going to be honest, it was not a great experience for me to try to drink the cholestyramine down inside of water or tea, or they say put it in orange juice, or whatever. The stuff was chalky to me, and it was very difficult to get through it. And at the time, I was not drinking a lot of water, and just to get down a portion of the prescribed amount, I was drinking like 11 or 12 glasses of water to get the small amount of cholestyramine down me. And I was starting to get a headache, just kind of like this brain freeze. And I found there's got to be an easier way. And that's where I discovered, let's put it in capsules and see if that makes it easier. And my friends, it did make it easier. So with a cookie sheet, you cover it with wax paper. Just rip some off. You put that wax paper down. And then what you do is you dump some of your cholestyramine onto that wax paper into a pile. Now here, this is not cholestyramine. Cholestyramine comes very, very fine without all of these clumps that you just saw. I'm using coconut flour or cassava flour. I think this is coconut flour, just to demonstrate how to fill these capsules. Okay, So you put them in a wonderful pile. Now I'm going to tell you, I was lousy at filling these capsules. However, my husband was a genius at it. I was like, man, if we were pharmacists, you'd be the guy, because he could fill these up so fast, like so many per minute. And I was slow. You know, some things we're just slow at. So you've got it in a decent pile in front of you on your wax paper, the cholestyramine. You open up your capsule. Okay, so it's an empty capsule. And what you would do is you take the big side facing down, the opening facing down into your pile of cholestyramine. Just push it down, pick it back up, and it's packed. Don't know if you can see that or not. It was empty, but now it's packed. My husband had to teach me how to do it right, because I was actually taking it and kind of scooping it to the side and trying to fill it in. And I was just doing half-filled capsules and having to do the work over and over and over again. So I'm going to demonstrate to you one more time. So you've got your empty. Okay, face it straight down. Make sure you've got a pile. So I've made myself kind of like a cone-looking mini mountain in front of me. And I put about 1/4 of a cup on my tray to start with. Take that empty capsule. And you might want to wear an apron, you know, if you don't want to get your clothes puffy, because I was finding I was getting myself messy. My husband was totally clean when he did it. He whipped through these so fast. It was fabulous. These were so helpful to capsulate that I was even telling friends who were having struggles with getting down the powder form. So again, you've got your open end. You make it go face down into your pile of cholestyramine. Just tap it down into there, into that cholestyramine, pull it back out. Your puppy is packed. It's completely full. Then your lid, you do the same thing. The top of the capsule, again, that's like 1/4 of the capsule. You're going to put that on your pile. You're going to tap it maybe once or twice. You don't want to completely fill it because you need to now put the two sides together. If it doesn't fit, you've got to let some of it out, which I'm having to do right now. Then you just slide the top over the bottom, and you've just made yourself your own pill. So, yay. Now that you have that made, you then, oh, I have to back up for you guys. Hold on a second. So, say that there was 3 tablespoons that you're supposed to take in a day. I would measure that out and put that on my tray. So let's just pretend that this pile here was a pre-measured amount of 3 tablespoons I was supposed to take per day. Then I would take the capsules and I would just fill until all of that amount that was prescribed for the day is filled into capsules. Then I knew how many capsules I needed per serving, if that makes sense. Okay, so say it was 3 tablespoons and say it took me 15 of these to fill. Then I knew I needed 15 capsules for each prescription moment that I was supposed to take that prescription. And because I was ramping it up, then I knew now I'm just going to start with 2 or 3. In 2 days, I'll bump it to 5, blah, 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 until I got to a full amount of the 15 that I created. I hope that made sense. So that makes it easier to go down because you're drinking it just like any other supplement going down. Okay. And so my suggestion would be when you order your bovine capsules, that's actually what happened. I had bought the first round. I think it was too small. I was like, well, I could take less capsules if I got a bigger one. But then I bought too big of one. So I had to return that and finally found the right size. So you need to figure out your size. That was a little bit of math and just a little bit of trying. It would help if you just went to your pharmacy and asked your pharmacist, hey, and also to know how big of a pill can you swallow. Okay, so the great big ones, I just couldn't tolerate. So I had to go with something smaller like this, which is the size of my pinky before the first joint. A little bit smaller ones. Okay, bigger the better. in regards to you get it down faster, less water. But this way you're drinking less, you're not feeling chalkiness going down. It's swallowable, whereas the other one is a little more difficult to swallow. I'm just saying. So the reason why I chose wax paper is because the powder from the cholestyramine, it will not stick to it like it would, say, a plastic wrap if you laid that on your cookie sheet, or your foil when you're trying to, say, move your, when you're trying to slide your product, say, from a bigger area into a more centralized spot in the center of your paper. That would be harder to do with a foil because you could get that all kinked up and such, and the plastic, it would stick to that. But with the wax paper, you can just lift it up and manipulate your product, your powder, into the center, and then you can manipulate it from the front and the back and to the sides to get everything right into the center, and even create another little mound. And it just helps to manipulate that too when you're getting down to just your last 1 or 2 capsules that you're trying to fill up. You can just keep shifting that powder around on your wax paper easily to get that filled in. Okay, so that's the benefits of why we do the wax paper when we're filling those capsules. Also, the reason why putting a cookie sheet underneath that is because it creates a little bit of wall around your product, so it's not sliding out onto your table or onto your floor or onto your clothes. It just keeps things a lot more cleaner and controlled. Okay, the other thing, besides cholestyramine, you could put your other powdered supplements or medication that doesn't come into a capsule. You could actually capsulate that and make it easier to digest. Like I have a friend with I think it's a glutathione or glutamine synergy, one of those. She can't stand the flavor of it when it goes down. I remember when she first was taking it by my doctor before it was just told for me to do, she kept saying, oh, it tastes like dog food. You don't like this. You're not going to like the smell of it. And then when it was my turn, I tried it. I was like, I like this. I like the flavor of licorice though. And she didn't. So this is something that actually could benefit anybody beyond just cholestyramine treatments that just need another form of getting a powder into their body that they're supposed to be taking daily. You can pack it in a capsule. And after suggesting this to a friend, she found online that there was even a little gadget you can buy that fills the capsules for you as well. So I don't know where that's found. I don't remember what the name of that was, but you can do the research if doing it by hand is not something you want to do. Which, by the way, bovine or bovine, however you say that, that is made of beef gelatin. Okay, it's pure and there is nothing else mixed in with it. It's created into that pure casing of a gel cap, and that's what I went for instead of one that had different additives to it. So I pray that this is an encouragement to you that helps you successfully accomplish your cholestyramine treatment. All right, you guys have a great day and stay well.